And I fell in love with roofing. I fell in love with talking to people. I fell in love with the relationships that we established with our customers. And not only that, but the money was pretty amazing too.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom. Inside this episode, you're going to learn how the best sales team I've ever seen in roofing is dominating the game with 300 roofs. Literally, Kevin and Evette McGill, they are the top team at RRCA, new to the business from the car industry. And inside this episode, we're going to talk about going from the car industry, coming into roofing, really figuring out a system, working together, husband and wife. Women finding success in roofing, going from roofing sales rep to solar sales rep, from sales rep to leader, and the perfect sales system, growth system to accomplish the end goals. Guys, when you started with this, it all started with a dream. Did you really think this much would be possible?
I had no idea. It's kind of funny because the very first week I started, I was at the office and I saw all these guys and everybody's talking about how much money you could make. And I was listening to the guys talk and they were talking about how they all roomed together. And I went back to the manager at the time and I said, hey, you're telling me that you can make $150,000, $200,000, $250,000, $300,000. People that make that money don't live with a bunch of other guys. And they're like, no, they're storm chasing. You know, they're all here together. They don't work out of this office. And then I started realizing that, man, they're traveling and just killing it and just making money hand over fist. I never expected it to be that true.
Well, these guys were very successful early on, but that success only grew. And sometimes when you have great people that are having, some early wins, you want to make sure and not get in the way. And, there's been lots of times where we've had our ups and downs in their growth. But over the last 2 years, has it been 2 years
yet?
A year and a half.
Year and a half.
Their volume of built roofs is more than anybody I've ever had, even in the first 2 years. And if you take, your sales and you put them together, you are literally RRCA's top guy, or right underneath Brett, or right neck and neck. I think it's probably number one.
Well, we're number one for volume of deals.
Yes,
I think we're number two, or we're right there for money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might want to know, like, how do you find people like this? How do we find you? How'd you find out about us?
Went online and went on Indeed, and I was reading stuff. I'd actually, one of the guys that one of my guys sold a car to was in the roofing industry, and I remember when I looked at his application, how much money he said he made, and it's just something that always stuck in my head. So when I finally was burnt out on my last time, and I walked out of the auto industry, I was like, I'm going to find something, I think, in this industry. So I took about 6 weeks. I read all the reviews. And openly went into RRCA because of the reviews I read.
Guys, if you like this episode, like and subscribe. Make sure and make some comments here for Kevin and Evette. They'll respond to all of them. Evette, you were really never in sales or in a construction trade. How did he talk you into getting involved in this?
Yeah, not at all. I was actually an accountant for a software simulation company before I came into this industry. I had no idea how to build a roof or the components that go into building a roof. It was only until he introduced me to the opportunity. I was still working remote during the pandemic. And I literally had my laptop in the truck while I was riding with him to jobs. And I fell in love with roofing. I fell in love with talking to people. I fell in love with the relationships that we established with our customers. And not only that, but the money was pretty amazing too.
And y'all took over a neighborhood. Tell me about the neighborhood that you have the most amount of jobs in.
So we have Orange Tree.
How did it get started?
So what started was Evette, the neighborhood next to Orange Tree was called Glenbrook, and Evette was knocking on a door. And what she was saying is true. So she'd be on her computer, and we'd pull up to a house, and she'd put her computer down and run out and knock the door. And as she was walking away from a door, two ladies come across the street yelling, "Hey, are you all with the Census Bureau?" And so Evette's like, No, we're with the roofing company. And the lady says, "Well, I'm the HOA president. I've got a lot of homes that I'd like you to look at." So that one ended up giving us about 40 homes in that neighborhood. And then, of course, about 2 weeks later, we said, "Hey, let's kind of step out of this neighborhood for a little bit. And let's go next." So we went to one over called Orange Tree, 250 homes approximate. As of right now, we're at 106. of those roofs we've done or are getting ready to be done.
106 roofs in one neighborhood. Look, that's the beautiful thing. When you get the insurance company to pay to replace the roof, you spread like wildfire when you deliver good service. What's your 5-star customer service secret, Evette?
Well, I think it's the relationships again that we build with our customers. We tell them we're with you from beginning to end, and they love that. They love that we're not just there to sign them up and then disappear.
We had 7 families that we met in the roofing industry come to our wedding in August.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And with getting into the business, what were the most challenging things coming into this? The first learning the thing. I mean, because this is a year and a half. Not too long ago, you were having some challenges.
Sure. I think probably for somebody who doesn't know, it's getting away from the fear of not knowing what you don't know, such as the roofs. The different things that go into it. What happens if a customer asks you a question about a roof and you don't know anything about it? How do you overcome that? Especially in Central Florida, where storm chasers are so prevalent, people are already, scared of you, right? So you got to come out sounding as professional as possible. That was the biggest fear. And then from that point forward is just how are we going to organize our customers so they know we're here for them, that when they leave us a message, we're going to get back with them and they're not going to get lost and drop into the cracks.
Yeah, it all started with like a vision and a system.
Yes.
You'll kind of have your own way to organize your day.
Yep.
And this organization has allowed you to create massive scale.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about how that started and how y'all operate as a team?
Yeah. So the way that it started is first with a schedule book, right? So our schedule, we know before we go to bed what we're doing tomorrow, right? We already know how it's going to work out, where we're going, what community we're going to be at, and what area. And then from that point forward, our process is that Evette will knock the door or speak with the customer, and at that point in time, I will get out and I'll introduce myself she'll introduce me, and then I'll shake hands, let them know what I'm going to be doing, and I'll start the inspection process. She's either at that point in time chatting it up with the customer. She's got shingle booklets out, so they're looking at colors. So she's already getting them to buy in.
Yep.
Yes.
And while she's doing that, I'm doing the inspection. And while I'm on the roof, I'm yelling down, "Hey, I've got 15 missing shingles. I've got at least 30 crease shingles.
It's a team effort, even documenting the whole time.
Exactly." And so she says, oh. So when I yell that, now she doesn't really need to know it, but I do it for the customer's benefit.
But it's part of the show.
It is. It's part of the show. So as I'm saying that, she goes, "Oh my goodness, that's massive."
Yeah. So while he's telling me that, what damages he's seeing, I am explaining to the customer what the damage means.
They trust you.
Exactly.
So at that point in time, then I'll come down and I'll show them pictures on my phone that I've taken of them. I explain to them, "Hey, listen, not a problem. What we're going to do is we're going to go home. And later on this evening, you're going to receive an email with a report and all the pictures we took. Plus, it's going to have the additional information needed if you decide you would like to use this and proceed forward." So a lot of our customers, we don't sign right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
We sign them up the next day. I mean, I'd probably say 8 times out of 10, when we send out, we wake up the next morning with all the information needed to proceed.
Yeah.
And
that's probably a big thing about finishing the work.
Yeah.
So how talk to me about that, because that's one of the things I see people really fail at. Completing offer.
What do you mean by that?
It's how you send an email and complete the offer.
So and I think that's probably the key, is because we do what we say we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So so many times I'll send you pictures, and then customers, I never heard from them again.
Mm-hmm.
We make sure every night that's done. And so completing the offer of, "Hey, listen, this is the report, these are the pictures, this is what we need." And if we don't hear from them, then the next day we're either going back to their house or we're calling them and doing a follow-up. "Hey, want to make sure you receive the pictures. Any questions on any of that information?" And from what their answer is tells us, do we need to come by and stop by again? Or are they just needing a day to talk to whoever or whatever? Mm-hmm. And so that tells us the direction to go from their response.
And, as you're getting adjuster appointments and builds and it gets more complicated, what do you do then?
Organize. That's where our schedule comes in. When we have adjusters calling us to want to meet with for an inspection, we put them on our schedule. The one thing about adjusters, they're going to say, no, this is my time. We say, no. you're here for the customer wants us to be there, so it needs to be on our schedule. So we're kind of adamant with the adjusters on that, but we have a very good relationship with our adjusters. So I mean, many of them we work over and over. Heck, we just met with one on Thursday. He calls us Friday wanting to know about possibly coming to work for the company.
Nice.
So so that was great. But the organization is really where it's at for us. Keeping track of our adjuster meetings, our referrals, because we do deal with a lot of referrals at this point. We don't deal with as much door knocking as we do referrals. So we just work them in our schedule. But the key is we're up front with the customer. This is what we can do, and this is when we can do it.
So really no special secrets, a lot of activity. Do what you say you're going to
Yep.
do. And have someone that's always, when you're up on a roof, never miss an opportunity to six-pack and knock. I mean, how many times do you think guys go out there and they just don't do it?
All the time.
All the
Very
time.
often.
We went to a build, 2 weeks ago of one of our roofs that were going up, and we'd already done another roof in the neighborhood right down the street. But so I'm looking at the roof, and I've actually got out there. I got the drone out there, and she walks over. She goes, "You got 3 inspections." She'd walked the street and already got 3 inspections, and by the time I came off the first one, she had another one. So within an hour, we had 4 inspections.
Now, Orlando's leading our RCA in solar sales, sort of like heartbeat of solar. You started in roofing, and it was a little challenging getting solar started, wasn't
Yes.
it? And so anybody, if you're watching and you're in roofing, you think it's challenging to get started in solar, you're not alone. How are some of the ways that you kind of got into it and got going? Because now you're having some success.
Yeah. So, I think the fear first was it's solar. So
Solar's going to take over roofing.
Yes. Well, and not only just that, but, it's the fear of what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So here's solar, and you're hearing about monochrome, crystalline, panels, and you're hearing about all this different stuff, and you're like, I have no idea what some of this stuff means. What happens if somebody asks me? Now I have not only ruined my solar opportunity, but I've ruined my roofing opportunity possibly as well. So I just did a little bit of research, went on Sky Diamonds and watched the videos, and of course having Daniel in our home office helps as well. And I just with roofing, same thing. I took the step. We every customer, once we get them signed up, we say, hey, by the way, one thing we like to do is we also like to see what the energy efficiency of your new roof is. Do you have a current bill so we can see what you're doing now compared to what it could be? And they're like, yeah. And then they'll just give us a utility bill. From that point, we'll take it and we'll create the estimate, or not the estimate, but the proposal for solar, and then go back and say, hey, by the way, one thing we did is we do this, and here's an important thing for you. One thing you don't realize is that when you have your solar installed, if somebody else did your roof, you're going to lose your roof warranty. But because we're one and the same, we're going to back up your roof warranty. And they're like, oh, outstanding. Boom.
And how often do you think you're getting a power bill with your new agreements?
What? Right now, 3 out of 4.
And then after sitting down with them, how many of them you think are closable? Or
Probably 1 to 2.
1 to 2?
Yep.
And 1 out of 4, I mean, that's
25%.
50 grand added, and I mean, that's a big time.
Yeah.
Because last year having a total of like 300 projects, if you can just add 50 solar projects,
right.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
That could be just an additional $250,000 in
All
and of
day long.
itself.
Oh, yeah.
All day long.
So talk about our project, the NRL. Kevin is a commissioner for the National Roofing League, and we share a passion for basically sales competitions.
Yeah.
We believe that roofers roof to be recognized.
Right.
Or roofing sales guys knock doors to be recognized with awesome sales contests. So, we give away Rolexes at $1 million sold, built, and collected, but we have some other cool prizes. Tell us a little bit about the NRL and your project.
So, this is actually just starting to get its feet moving now. We finally got the toes pointing in the right direction, but it's going to be a leaderboard that's also going to be combined with kind of like a fantasy format. So if anybody plays fantasy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever, it's going to be that format. So it's going to track what each rep is doing, contingency-wise, contract-wise, and it's going to allow that when we go to offer a 10-week competition, captains can pick their teams based upon what reps are doing, and from that point, then the points that they earn will be turned into either dollars, money to put in their pocket, or they can buy from our online store, such as drones, new DJI drones, and cameras, and swag, whatever.
What's the prizes for the recent contest?
So the one that we're currently in right now, so there's going to be two prizes, one for the winning team and one for the winning person. So the team that wins the actual competition, everybody on the team is going to get a vacation, like a 4-day vacation.
To an exotic place.
To an exotic place, correct. And so it's going to be great. Now, of course, they can go together, they can go separately. It's really up to them, but they're going to win the vacation.
Nice.
Then the winning person that wins the competition, so has the most points across the board, gets $5,000 to go to a place of their choice, which we won last year.
Nice. And where'd you go?
We went to Costa Rica. 10 days.
Ooh, nice.
So, and it was kind of funny because we got $5,000 for the vacation and came back with $17 of it.
Oh,
We
nice.
spent every penny of it on the
dollar.
vacation.
What'd y'all do?
6 excursions. We went through volcanoes.
Oh, yes. It was pretty
Zip lining.
Dude, we got to go back.
Oh, all day. The one thing we didn't do, we wish we would have done, was gone fishing.
Yeah, well, if we can go back and go fishing, we'll do
Yeah.
that for sure. So talk about running the sales meeting and how to get the guys motivated and what you think is effective. You've seen some things and you run the meeting. So tell me what you think.
I think the effective part is really goes to these new guys. The guys that feel like they're old dogs, stuck in their way, they do participate and they love speaking up and helping with their expertise, which is great. But it's really these new guys, and I think that's where the training should always start with, is it's your new people that you want to get them in and get them at least where they're confident to get out and start having some success.
Absolutely.
So what we've really focused on mostly has been just process. How are you going to get out there? What are the things you need that you're going to feel comfortable with? And of course, some rah-rah, getting some cheerleading in them and where they feel comfortable. We had a really good training on Saturday and actually had one of the new guys wrote back and said, I am pumped and ready to go. Him and his wife went out and did a bunch of contingencies that day, on Saturday. So it's really the rah-rah part. So these new people are feeling part of the team, welcomed, which I think everybody would agree. When you start with a new company, you're like, I don't know anybody, I'm afraid to speak up, and I'm afraid I'm going to screw up.
What was your biggest fear getting into roofing?
Not knowing roofing. That was it. When it comes to sales, I'm not scared. Talking to people, I'm not scared, but it was being asked with anything else. It's being asked something that you may not know the answer to and look stupid.
Yeah.
And what did you find out about the process?
Well, I think what Evette and I did, we did it the right way. We started with the most basic roof, a shingle. So we started with that, and we felt like that was good for us because we're not going to be put in a position to have to, hum and haw over it. We can answer it. It's simple. It's a shingle. It's a 3-tab, 60 mile per hour, architectural. We can give some good basic information to the homeowner so they feel comfortable with us. And from that is what we found success, because the 300 roofs we did were all shingle last year. Not one metal, not one tile. Now this year we've got a bunch of shingles. We've already done one metal. We've got 3 tiles.
Nice.
So while it's not a lot as some other people, but again, it is what it is. We're
we like the volume and we're
yeah.
excited about it, and because
Yeah.
it busts up whole neighborhoods, it shows that it can be done.
Yep.
You like to win the contest, drive the team.
That's it.
So tell me a little bit about the other side of it. You've seen guys that can't make it, and for whatever reason they time out. What do you think it is that with our company, when especially some of these guys, they say stuff on the internet as they leave. What do you think that is?
I think it's buy-in for them. It starts out with buy-in. So normal, then when people leave for something with a new career, it's because usually a couple things, right? One, they didn't feel like they received enough training, or 2, they didn't feel comfortable with the people they were around. That's really those 2 things. They can't say it's about training in RRCA. Nobody can ever say that. So maybe that they got in and somebody didn't take them under their wing.
Yeah.
For me, I went out with 2 people, 1 time each, a total of about 7 hours. And that was it. After that, we were on our own. But that's because I have a sales background, so it was easier. But some of these guys and girls that are coming in that don't have sales, they need that. They need somebody that's going to put their arm around them and say, listen, you're doing great. Just keep it going. Just keep it going. Come on out with us, and we're going to help you out. I think that's the number 1 reason why people rotate out.
Yeah, and I think maybe that we required a sell, build, collect, and as our company's grown, we've implemented a better production nationwide, being able to operate out of one place, the collections and supplement department that have really grown, so that
Massive.
We've now been able to offer people like you the opportunity to just sell.
Yeah.
but make nearly the same amount of money. And so we hope that allows you to do what you do best. And, still though, talk about how maintaining a referral relationship is about more than just the money. Because in this pay plan, we want you to sell, but you can never shit on the relationship. You notice how some of these people shit on people, and
all
then
day.
they want to be paid.
That's it.
Have you seen that happen?
All day long.
Would you, if you were in my position, how would you treat people that did
I'd
that?
be livid.
I mean, you're a perfectionist.
Yep.
Not only do they ruin your reputation and get you bad reviews, then they go on the internet say that you don't do them while they make you look bad and tear up your business.
That's right. And really, I would look at it like, listen, buddy, you may not have wanted to work with the customer because they pissed down your Wheaties, whatever, but it's still my company for you. And that's how I would look at it if it was my company. It's still my company. If you didn't want to do it, you should have given one of us an opportunity to fix this issue before it got to this point. And, and again, even when we were going to come work for RRCA, we read the reviews, and there's, you got your random ones in there, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to read some of the BS.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about roofing, and I could look at a review and go, okay, this doesn't sound right. Yeah. So more than likely it was a homeowner error.
Yeah. And what's been your experience with the culture here about working with us, and what do you like most?
I love the camaraderie. Coming from 15 years in the auto industry, you're working with these men and women on a daily basis in a closed environment. So you have no recourse but to work with them on it, every day. You're seeing them every day. It's literally a second home, right? We're here, our second home is in our truck, and it's just her and I, but it's the constant, everybody's available. Everybody. If there's something that happens, all I have to do is go onto our chat and say, hey, does anybody know this? And I get blown up with either somebody calling me, texting me personally, or responding in the chat. To me, it's a win-win.
And when it comes to like being a lot of times people want to join companies that are about other things. And, if you don't know, my big thing is I am about helping people get into the business and creating success stories like you.
Right.
Like, forget about the roofs. The roofs are fun. They make a lot of money.
Yeah.
We fight insurance companies. We save people money with solar bills. But I like seeing the lives changed.
Oh, yeah.
And so talk to me about going into leadership and where you see yourself, like, carrying on this, like, mentorship.
Yeah. The mentorship is something that I think has been in me going back from my mother. She was a trainer for Disney for years, and before that Tupperware. So I kind of was raised in sales. And so, but for me, the vision for myself is to be one where I am the end-all be-all trainer for our new people coming in. To me, once you get your feet going and you've got your skins on the walls and you've got that bank account, do what you're doing. You've got success. You don't need, you want to come back to sometimes home, but in reality, you don't really need me after that. You've got what you need. Make it work now. And if you need to come on home and we'll work on whatever's needed. But really, it comes down to these new people. The vision is that we take people in and we slow that revolving door. You can't ever stop them all from going, but we can cut it down from whatever number it is per month and cut that down to a 10th, 20% of that. Yeah,
and this Orlando office with solar being a new add-on, how does that do for saving folks?
It's massive, and it's massive on a couple areas. One, the homeowner, because we have Duke Energy, which is the highest in the state of Florida, and it's not even a Florida-based utility company. So for these people, I'm seeing utility bills cut in half, sometimes more than that. It's a no-brainer. But for the company-wise, it's good because, like I said earlier, it's like, we did your roof, we're going to do your solar. It's only one company. You don't have companies fighting against each other if you get a leak. It's just us. You don't lose your roof warranty because it's us. We're doing everything, So I think the selling points are massive. But as for the customer, it's a no-brainer because it's where it's going to be.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Solar's a little bit more expensive than roofing. It's easier to get into. You don't have to get on the roof. The proposal's very easy. And, Evette has got really kind of a spearheaded campaign. We call it FIRST, Can you tell us a little bit about your vision for First?
Yes, so First is it's a new program that I came up with. It's Females in Roofing and Solar Team. It's a new initiative to, bring in women into the roofing and solar industry. I did a search to see, how many companies are offering this, to females. Not a whole lot, actually, none. Mm-hmm. No company is. So that's why First, I think, will be huge for us, to put it out there for females that might want to join this industry. And
we believe that females might be able to sell it better than the males.
There you go.
I think you're out there showing them. More importantly, that we have an opportunity for girls to work from home. We have leads on all these roofs that we've already replaced. We have a system, an SDU hub. And so, the beautiful thing about it is that, Natalie, y'all know Natalie, yep. She has been able to grow, and from home, her income and impact is an amazing thing. She's got a young kid, but I just think about her making over 6 figures from home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, that how much has changed her life.
Oh, yeah.
And, I know that she wants to see more women be able to do the same thing. Right. Or you, who are in a corporate job, you're behind a desk. What do you enjoy about being out in the field versus being behind the desk?
Well, first and foremost, I just enjoy the freedom that I have, not being bogged down behind a desk for 40 hours a week. Mm-hmm. And I also enjoy the fact that I get to meet so many different people. Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful thing. It's empowering. You got control of your own schedule, and you're outside. And that's like, what's the best way to sell roofs and solar? Is it through inside sales with leads, or is it going into the neighborhood where there's viral referral market spread? These guys have so many deals that referrals keep coming in, and they're really like specializing just in the word of mouth referrals, door to door, like basics of the business, but doing it really well. They are organized. They talk about how they complete the offers. They talk about their little system in this deal, but I think the main thing is talk about your goals, your board, how you were able to take it one at a time, and
sure.
and how you map that out.
So it started with deciding what we wanted to make. When we heard that, hey, you're talking about 10% of whatever the roof was. So we thought, if the average roof is $20,000, that's $2,000. What do we want to make? Our goal was $400,000. I say only because we blew past that. So $400,000 was our goal. So we said, okay, we want to do that. We're going to go ahead and say 300 jobs, because for now we're learning. Let's say it's only $1,500 that we make. And so we did 300, and we went and bought a dry erase board. I lined it, put all the boxes in there. So I had 300 and something boxes up on it. And as each job came in, I wrote the customer's last name in, starting from the 300 all the way down to number 1.
You filled the board.
And so, filled the board. We ended up signing 358.
What's the new board?
The new board is a lesser number, but we added solar and commercial.
Okay.
So now we have 250.
We tile too?
No, tile, metal, and shingles roof.
Okay.
So we have 250 spots for roof. We have 40 for solar, and then we have 15 for commercial.
All right, beautiful. Man, that's going to be a beautiful book of business. Maybe 8-figure salespeople. Oh, my God, sis. Look, guys, you're looking at what 7-figure earners in roofing and solar might look like. These guys are only a year and a half in the business and earned about $500,000. Guys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Best volume we've ever had. Hope you've gotten some nuggets from this. Look, like and subscribe. Comment below what you think about Kevin and Evette's awesome feed. If you want to be a part of the National Roofing League, we can get you hooked up. In the National Roofing League, you get monthly coaching calls with the commissioner, Kevin, with me. You also get access to Sky Diamonds University, our live leaderboard. And this leaderboard is something that counts contingency agreements, hard number contracts, solar deals, and we're going to be keeping a score with RRCA, but a score with the entire roofing and solar industry. And we're going to hold contests and give away multiple 6 figures in prizes. And so if that's something you want to be a part of, make sure that you comment below. Also, if you're a woman watching this and you want to find out how to earn more in solar, how to earn more in roofing, how to collaborate with other women, comment first below in the comments, and we'll get you connected with Evette. We'll get you connected with our team. Guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what happens
sir.
this year. And I really appreciate it. This is an awesome podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.